Chosen one. Listen carefully. You are not here by coincidence. This moment has been written into your path long before the world approached the threshold of December 1st, 2025. Heaven has been guiding you step by step, preparing your spirit for what this coming day will unlock. December 1st is not just a date. It is a spiritual crossing, a moment when the veil thins and your true identity begins to rise to the surface. Anointed one, you have felt the signs building. The heightened sensitivity, the unexplained intuition, the dreams that lingered long after waking, the strange knowing you could never explain. These were not random experiences. They were markers placed within you before your birth, indicators of a hidden bloodline and a calling engraved into your soul. As it is written in Jeremiah chapter 1 verse 5, before you were formed, you were known and set apart. You have always walked differently because you were crafted differently. And as December 1st draws near, heaven begins to reveal what has been concealed, the truth of your origin, the reason you feel things others cannot, the purpose behind the isolation you never understood. Prepare your heart, chosen one. What is coming on this day will shift your spirit, your path, and your destiny forever. Chosen one. Listen closely. What you are feeling right now is not confusion, it is confirmation. This moment, this message, this stirring in your chest is a sign that heaven has been trying to reach you for a long time. And now that we stand at the threshold of December 1st, 2025, the veil over your spirit is thinning. You are beginning to sense what has always been true. You were never ordinary. You were never meant to move with the crowd. You were never designed to blend into the noise of this world. You were crafted, marked, and set apart long before you took your first breath. And chosen one. This is why the universe, heaven, and every spiritual frequency aligned with the Most High has been pushing you into isolation, not to punish you, but to awaken you. Because on December 1st, something rare will unfold, and only those who stand alone in silence will hear it. Only those who make space for heaven will feel it. You may have brushed off the signs for years, the strange dreams that felt too real, the inner nudges that told you something was shifting, the moments when time felt slower, heavier, or strangely divine. But these weren't random. They were markers of identity, spiritual fingerprints that only a select few on this earth carry. And you, anointed one, are one of them. I know what it feels like because I've been there. There were seasons when the solitude felt suffocating, when the quiet felt like abandonment. I remember sitting alone in my room, feeling the weight of something I couldn't name, a pressure, a pull, a knowing. At the time, I thought I was simply overwhelmed. But later, I realized heaven was tuning my spirit the same way a musician tightens strings before creating a sound that can fill a room. Chosen one. Heaven has been tuning you. Every moment you felt misunderstood, every time your spirit reacted to things others ignored, every time your intuition sensed shifts before they happened. These weren't weaknesses. They were proof of your spiritual antenna, proof that you have always been connected to realms most people will never touch. And on December 1st, that connection deepens. This is why you must stay home. This is why you must stay alone. The transition happening on that day is not loud. It is not explosive. It is quiet, subtle, refined, a whisper that only souls who have been prepared will catch. While the world rushes around you as if nothing is happening, your spirit will feel the tremor. You will notice the atmosphere shift. You will sense the invisible door the universe has been constructing around your life has finally opened. Chosen 1. Isolation is not your enemy, it is your alignment. I want you to think back on this past year. Think about how many times you tried to reconnect with people, but something stopped you. Think about the invitations you turned down without knowing why. Think about the sudden heaviness you felt after being around certain individuals. Think about those mornings when you didn't want to talk to anyone, not out of irritation, but because something inside you whispered, "Stay still, not today." Those were not random moods. Those were spiritual instructions. Heaven has been removing distractions from your path. People who drain you. Environments that dull your sensitivity. Conversations that distort your intuition. Even habits you once enjoyed have suddenly felt off. That is because your identity is rising, and with rising comes purification. I need you to understand this deeply. Your sensitivity is not weakness, it is evidence of your calling. Your spirit is being refined, sharpened, and recalibrated to handle the energy of the new cycle, awakening on December 1st. And just as ancient prophets withdrew into solitude before receiving divine revelation, heaven is calling you into that same sacred quiet. Because revelation does not come to crowded rooms, it comes to surrendered spirits. Chosen one, you are being invited into a moment of recognition, the moment when you finally see yourself as heaven has seen you all along, not overlooked, not forgotten, not strange, but chosen, set apart, tuned to a higher frequency than the world around you. Some of you felt this since childhood. Maybe you were the child who cared too deeply, who sensed the emotions in a room before anyone spoke. Maybe you were the one who preferred silence over chaos, who found comfort in solitude, even when others didn't understand. Or maybe you were the one who always saw patterns, signs, synchronicities, things you couldn't explain but couldn't ignore. That was heaven's way of saying, "You are mine." And now, as December 1st approaches, the whispers grow louder. Chosen one, what is coming is not small. It is not symbolic. It is personal. This day will mark a shift within you, a recognition of your true origin, a deeper clarity of your spiritual assignment, and the release of burdens you were never meant to carry. But you must be alone to receive it. And before we go further, I need you to sit with this truth. Your isolation has always been your initiation. Chosen one. Now that you understand why heaven has been pulling you away from the noise, it is time to go deeper into what December 1st is truly awakening within you. There is a reason your spirit has been stirring in ways even you cannot explain. There is a reason your thoughts have been sharper, your emotions heavier, and your intuition louder. When heaven prepares a chosen one for a spiritual elevation, the preparation often feels like pressure. It feels like being stretched, like being separated, like being stripped of old layers you didn't realize you had been carrying. You may have tried to distract yourself, tried to busy your mind, tried to ignore the quiet heaviness that lingered in the background of your days, but the energy of this moment refused to let you escape it. This is not punishment. This is positioning. As December 1st approaches, you will notice that your sensitivity increases, not just emotionally, but spiritually. You might walk into a room and feel the atmosphere before you speak. You may sense someone's intention without hearing their words. You may feel a sudden pull to withdraw, even when everyone around you expects you to be present. These are not inconveniences. These are indicators that your discernment is being sharpened for the next season of your life. I remember a time when I ignored these inner cues. I forced myself into environments my spirit had already rejected, and each time my energy dimmed a little more. I didn't understand that when the Spirit is elevating you, everything that no longer matches your frequency drains you instantly. I learned the hard way that ignoring spiritual signals always leads to emotional exhaustion. Chosen one. Heaven is saving you from unnecessary battles by heightening your awareness now. There is something else you must understand. Every chosen one experiences a moment in their journey where their spiritual identity begins to weigh on them. Not because it is a burden, but because the world around them is too small for the magnitude of what they carry. When you were younger, you may have felt like you didn't quite belong. You may have felt older than your age, wiser than your peers, or strangely aware of things you could never fully express. These were early signs of your origin. Heaven plants wisdom in the spirits of those chosen for deeper purpose long before they can articulate it. You saw things differently because you were meant to. Even the loneliness you felt was not loneliness at all. It was separation for preparation. The world couldn't understand you because you were not made from its frequency. As December first draws near, these truths will no longer feel vague or abstract. They will start to make sense in ways that almost feel eerie. You may feel waves of clarity that wash over you unexpectedly, moments where you suddenly understand why certain people left, why certain doors closed, or why certain seasons drained you more than others. This clarity is not random. It is the unveiling of your spiritual history. It is heaven allowing you to see your life from above rather than through the limited lens of survival. You will realize that every loss was protection, every delay was redirection, and every isolation was initiation. What you thought was pain was actually preparation. Chosen one. One of the clearest signs of your awakening is the sudden desire for silence. It is not that you dislike people, it is that your spirit is craving purity. Noise feels heavier, chaos feels unbearable, small talk feels pointless. Your soul wants depth, truth, authenticity, and quiet, because those are the environments where heaven speaks the loudest. I used to fight this feeling, thinking something was wrong with me. I didn't realize that heaven was detoxing my spirit from the world so it could tune me to revelation. And now the same process is happening in you. Do not run from it. Lean into it. The silence that feels uncomfortable today will become the spiritual clarity you depend on tomorrow. You must also understand that December 1st marks not only an external shift, but an internal recalibration. The universe is aligning your path with a new trajectory, one that requires a version of you that is lighter, clearer, and more spiritually alert. This is why certain memories have resurfaced lately. It is why old emotions have bubbled up unexpectedly. It is why your dreams have become more symbolic or intense. Heaven is emptying the old to prepare room for the new. Think of it like rearranging the furniture of your inner world. Things that were buried are rising because they can no longer remain in the next phase of your life. Release them without fear. They are leaving because they have served their purpose. Chosen one. I need you to feel this deeply. December 1st is not just another date. It is a spiritual checkpoint, a divine alignment point written into your destiny long before you arrived on Earth. When that day comes, your spirit will be open, sensitive, and ready to receive what has been waiting for you. But you cannot receive revelation while surrounded by noise. You must be alone so the frequency of heaven can reach you without interference. You must be still so the truth buried inside you can finally rise to the surface. And you must be quiet so the next instruction can come clearly. This is the moment heaven has been preparing you for, and the signs are already unfolding around you. The question now is whether you will obey the call to stillness or drown it out with distractions. Your destiny depends on this choice. Chosen one. As we continue deeper into this unfolding awakening, you must understand that the pull towards solitude you feel right now is not simply emotional. It is spiritual engineering. There are moments in a chosen one's journey where heaven isolates you, not because something is wrong, but because something is being revealed. On December 1st, this revelation reaches its peak, and everything you are feeling now is preparation for what will be unveiled. You may have noticed lately that your spirit reacts to people differently. Some individuals who once brought comfort now feel draining. Some conversations that used to flow effortlessly now feel heavy or out of place. Even familiar environments may suddenly feel too loud, too bright, or too crowded. This is because your spiritual senses are waking up and your identity is shifting from who you were to who you were always meant to be. There is a sacred truth that very few people understand. When heaven is about to elevate a chosen one, your spirit outgrows certain frequencies before your mind realizes what is happening. That is why you may feel disconnected from old friendships, detached from certain routines, or uninterested in things that once entertained you. It is not boredom, it is transformation. When your soul begins stepping into its higher assignment, anything that isn't aligned with that assignment begins to fall away. You can feel it even when you try to ignore it. You can sense the misalignment even when the situation looks fine from the outside. This is one of the first signs of spiritual maturity, and it always arrives before a major shift. Chosen one. The shift coming on December 1st is not only external, it is internal. A deeper level of discernment is forming inside you. You may notice subtle things that you never saw before, such as the true intentions behind someone's words or the hidden energy behind someone's smile. You may walk into a room and instantly sense heaviness or peace. Your dreams may carry messages that feel significant, and your intuition may speak louder than your logic. These are not coincidences. This is heaven unlocking your inner sight. The world calls it intuition, but for a chosen one, it is spiritual vision, the same type of knowing that guided ancient prophets and chosen vessels throughout history. Your inner world is expanding, and your spirit is learning to perceive realms your eyes cannot see. Often, this expansion comes with confusion. You might wonder why your emotions feel intense, or why your thoughts feel deeper than usual. You might question why certain memories from years ago suddenly resurface without warning. But these are not emotional accidents. They are spiritual recalibrations. When heaven elevates you, it brings unresolved pieces of your story to the surface so you can release them. Old wounds return not to hurt you again, but to show you what needs to be cleared before the next chapter begins. You cannot step into December 1st carrying the emotional weight of past seasons. The new frequency cannot rest on an old foundation. That is why your spirit is being drained of everything that no longer aligns with your identity. I remember experiencing this myself during a season when everything felt both familiar and foreign. I could sit in a room I had been in countless times, yet feel like the energy had shifted. I could be surrounded by people I cared for, yet feel an inner nudge pulling me away. At first, I resisted it. I tried to cling to what felt comfortable to force myself into circles that no longer fit me. But the more I resisted the pull toward solitude, the heavier my spirit became. Only when I surrendered to silence did clarity begin to rise. Only then did I realize heaven had been calling me out, not to remove people from my life, but to reveal who I was beneath the noise. Chosen one. The same thing is happening to you now. The energy of December 1st will amplify whatever frequency you hold. If your heart is cluttered, the noise will feel louder. If your spirit is unsettled, the confusion will feel sharper. But if you embrace the quiet now, the clarity that meets you on that day will be undeniable. This is why heaven urges you to stay alone. This is why you feel the need to retreat. The solitude is cleansing you, strengthening you, and preparing your spiritual field to receive what others will miss entirely. Your awakening is not meant to be witnessed by the crowd. It is meant to be experienced in stillness. Chosen one, pay attention to the subtle shifts. The sudden impulse to clean your space, the urge to journal, the desire to step away from conflict, the feeling that certain conversations no longer nourish your soul. These are the whispers of alignment. Even your body may feel different, either lighter or more tired than usual, because energy transitions affect your physical form. When your spirit prepares for elevation, your body follows. Do not ignore these signals. They are guiding you. You are being positioned for a revelation that will not only change how you see your life, but how you see yourself. And the world around you may feel unchanged, but your spirit knows something is approaching. Trust that feeling. Trust the shift. Trust the preparation. Chosen one. As we move deeper into this sacred unveiling, you must understand that what is happening within you is not just an emotional phase or a season of personal change. It is a spiritual unlocking, a remembrance rising from the depths of your soul. The closer we move toward December 1st, the more the veil thins between who you were taught to be and who heaven always knew you were. This is why everything feels more intense right now. Your senses are sharpening, your intuition is stretching, and your spirit is stepping forward in ways your mind cannot fully explain. This is the moment when heaven begins connecting the dots of your life, revealing patterns you missed and meanings you never recognized. There is a sacred truth that only the chosen experience, and you are living it now. Before a divine identity emerges, it first disrupts everything that is false. You may feel restless without knowing why. You may look at your life and sense that something is missing or shifting, even though nothing obvious has changed. This is because your spirit is outgrowing the version of you that was built from survival expectations and old burdens. Heaven is rewriting your inner blueprint, revealing that the sensitivity you once saw as weakness was actually your greatest spiritual strength. You were never meant to blend in because you were born with a frequency that does not match this world. Chosen one, you might notice that your reactions have become sharper. The things you once tolerated now feel unbearable. The people you once kept around now feel misaligned. Even habits you once used to comfort yourself no longer satisfy you. This discomfort is not chaos. It is clarity. The closer you move toward your spiritual identity, the less your soul can tolerate anything that contradicts it. I once felt this same shift without knowing its purpose. I remember a period in my life when even meaningless conversations felt draining. I could hear the emptiness in people's words, feel their intentions beneath their smiles, and sense their energy before they entered the room. At the time, I questioned myself, thinking I was becoming too emotional or distant. But later I understood that my spirit was simply refusing to live below its calling. The same awakening is unfolding in you. As December 1st approaches, you may also feel moments of heaviness that come without warning, as if a cloud hangs just above your heart. Don't fear this feeling. It is a sign that your soul is releasing old layers that cannot travel with you into the next season. There might be memories from the past resurfacing unexpectedly. You might recall old conversations, relationships, or mistakes that you thought were long forgotten. This is not regression, it is extraction. Heaven is pulling unresolved fragments of your story to the surface so your spirit can be freed from them. What feels like emotional pressure is actually spiritual cleansing. During this process, your sleep patterns may shift. Some nights, you may sleep deeply, drifting into dreams that feel symbolic or vivid. Other nights, you may struggle to rest as though your spirit is alert, even while your body is tired. This is a natural sign of spiritual alignment. Heaven often speaks to the chosen through dreams, visions, and impressions when the physical world grows quiet. When your intuition is heightened, your nights become windows for revelation. Do not dismiss these dreams or sensations. They are messages wrapped in symbols, preparing you for the moment when everything becomes clear. Chosen one. You may also feel bursts of motivation followed by sudden stillness. One moment you may feel inspired to plan, create, or change everything, and the next moment your spirit pulls you into silence. This is not inconsistency. It is pacing. Heaven is regulating your energy so you do not run ahead of the timing written for you. Spiritual elevation requires balance. Too much movement exhausts your spirit, and too much stillness dims your fire. These shifts teach you how to move with heaven instead of fighting against it. Another sign of the transition is that your relationships are being redefined, not through conflict, but through revelation. You may feel drawn to distance yourself from certain people without having a logical explanation. You may feel uncomfortable sharing your heart with those who once felt familiar. Your spirit is warning you that not everyone can accompany you into this next phase. Some connections were meant for previous chapters of your life, but this awakening belongs only to you. Heaven is not isolating you to take from you. It is isolating you to protect what is forming inside you. As your identity rises, your environment begins to feel unfamiliar. Even your own home may feel different, quieter, heavier, or spiritually charged. This is because your space is preparing for the energy that will rest on you on December 1st. You may instinctively feel the need to clean, reorganize, or refresh the rooms where you spend the most time. This is your spirit telling you that clarity requires order. The atmosphere you create will influence the revelations you receive. Chosen one. This is not just preparation, it is activation. You are being shaped for a moment that has been written into your destiny since the beginning. You are not imagining the pull. You are not overthinking the signs. You are rising into alignment with the identity heaven has been waiting for you to remember. Every sensation, every shift, every moment of discomfort is leading you to the exact point where awakening becomes unavoidable. Chosen one. As we continue moving into this unveiling, you must understand that every shift you are experiencing now is part of a divine pattern designed specifically for you. Nothing about this season is accidental. The pull towards silence, the urge to withdraw, the sudden exhaustion followed by bursts of clarity. These are not symptoms of confusion, but signs of alignment. Heaven is positioning you for something that cannot be received in the presence of others, something that requires your full attention, your full spirit, and your full willingness to listen. December 1st is not just a date. It is a spiritual intersection where your past, your purpose, and your destiny meet in a single moment of clarity. Chosen one. You may have noticed that your emotional world feels unusually sensitive right now. Small things that you used to ignore now echo louder. Words from others feel heavier. Even your own thoughts seem to carry more weight. This is because your heart is being recalibrated. I remember a time when I felt this same internal shift. Conversations that once felt harmless suddenly felt draining, and even compliments carried undertones I could not explain. At first, I thought I was becoming too sensitive, but then I realized my spirit was reading the energy behind the words, not the words themselves. Heaven was teaching me to see beyond the surface, and now the same sight is awakening in you. As your spiritual eyes open, you may begin noticing details that others overlook. You may see patterns in your life, more clearly understand past relationships differently, or feel guided to reconsider choices you once made without question. This is not overthinking. This is discernment unfolding. The chosen always experience this before stepping into a new season. Your spirit is filtering out what cannot follow you into the next phase, and your mind is catching up to what your soul already knows. Do not resist this process. Let the clarity sharpen you. You may also notice that your body is responding to this spiritual shift. Perhaps you feel waves of tiredness that come and go without warning. Perhaps your appetite has changed, or your sleep feels different, either unusually light or deeply heavy. This is not your body failing you. It is your body adjusting to the new frequencies that are preparing to settle within you. Spiritual transitions often manifest physically because your body is the vessel carrying your spirit. Heaven is aligning every part of you inside and out to receive what December 1st will awaken. Chosen one, you may also feel nostalgia rising unexpectedly. Memories you haven't thought about in years may surface. Old emotions may return, not to torment you, but to be released. You cannot carry unresolved weight into what heaven is about to reveal. Think of it like cleaning a sacred room before hosting something holy. The emotions that rise are not resurfacing to hurt you. They are surfacing so they can finally leave. When you feel these memories return, don't push them away. Let them pass through. Let your spirit make space for the new. There are also moments when you may feel disconnected from the world around you, as though you are watching your life through a window. This sense of distance is not emptiness, it is elevation. Your spirit is stepping ahead of your physical reality, moving into the energy of December 1st, before your body arrives there. I felt this before, that strange sense of being present, but also beyond the moment. It felt confusing until I realized heaven was allowing my spirit to walk ahead, so that when the physical shift came, I would recognize it. The same preview is happening for you. As we draw nearer to December 1st, you may also feel a deeper hunger for meaning. The superficial no longer satisfies you. The small talk feels suffocating. The things that once distracted you now feel pointless. You are craving depth because heaven is preparing to feed your spirit with revelation. When this hunger rises, don't numb it with noise or entertainment. Sit with it. Let it guide you to silence, reflection, or prayer. The longing you feel is the sign that revelation is close. Chosen one, do not be alarmed if relationships around you begin shifting. Some people may drift away gently. Others may seem irritated with you for no clear reason. Some may simply feel off in your spirit, even if nothing visible has changed. This is heaven rearranging your connections so your environment matches your elevation. Not everyone is meant to witness your awakening. Not everyone can walk with you into the frequency that will settle upon your life on December 1st. Do not cling to what heaven is releasing. Your spirit is approaching an appointment written into your destiny long before you were born. Every moment of discomfort, every wave of clarity, every pull towards solitude is part of the preparation. What is coming requires that you hear heaven without interference, recognize your identity without distortion, and receive revelation without distraction. Everything in your life is aligning for that moment. Chosen one. As we continue deeper into this sacred unveiling, you must understand that by the time December 1st arrives, something within you will already have shifted so profoundly that you will no longer recognize the version of yourself from earlier this year. Everything you are feeling now is the beginning of that inner metamorphosis. Heaven is not preparing you for a small change, but for a complete reorientation of your spirit, your identity, and your path. The old you is dissolving not because it was wrong, but because it is no longer needed for where you are going. When heaven elevates a chosen one, it begins by removing the layers that were built from fear, survival, or self-protection, revealing the version of you that was designed before the world ever touched you. Chosen one. You may find yourself feeling strangely detached from things that once felt important. The goals that drove you before may now feel empty. The desires you believed were yours may no longer resonate. This is because your spirit is shifting from a life constructed by expectations to a life aligned with your divine identity. I remember a season when I felt this same emptiness. I was chasing dreams that looked good on paper but felt hollow in my soul. It wasn't failure that made them collapse. It was misalignment. Heaven will allow certain things to fall apart so the truth within you can rise. The same process is unfolding in you now, and the emptiness you feel is not a void, it is a clearing. As this clearing continues, you may also feel an increasing sense of inner tension. It is not anxiety, although it may feel similar. It is the energy of transition pressing on your spirit, urging you to release what no longer matches your identity. You might notice yourself becoming quieter, not because you have nothing to say, but because your spirit is filtering your words. You are speaking with more purpose, more intention, and more awareness. This is a sign that you are moving from reaction to revelation. Your words carry weight now because your spirit is preparing to carry authority. You may also experience days where your emotions feel unpredictable. One moment you feel grounded, and the next you feel waves of sadness, longing, or nostalgia. These emotional shifts are part of the spiritual detox happening inside you. Heaven is flushing out old pain, forgotten disappointments, and silent wounds that you never fully acknowledged. The tears you feel rising unexpectedly are not weakness, they are release. There were emotions you carried for years without realizing their cost, and heaven is now removing them so you can step into December 1st with a heart that is unburdened. There will also be moments when you feel a sudden surge of purpose or inspiration followed by a quiet stillness. These alternating waves are not meant to confuse you, but to balance you. Revelation does not come in constant motion. It comes in cycles, moments of rising and moments of resting. When you feel the inspiration, act on it. When you feel the stillness, honor it. The chosen do not operate on worldly timelines. They move according to divine rhythms. Your spirit is learning to follow heaven more than habit. Chosen one, you may also notice that your sensitivity to dishonesty, manipulation, or spiritual heaviness has increased. People who once felt neutral may now feel draining. Situations you used to tolerate may now feel unbearable. You are not becoming judgmental, you are becoming spiritually discerning. When your identity rises, the false energies around you become uncomfortable because your spirit is no longer willing to coexist with what is misaligned. This discomfort is not something to fear. It is guidance, it is protection, it is heaven showing you where not to go. As we move closer to December 1st, your inner world will grow louder, even as your outer world grows quieter. You may feel the urge to spend time alone, to reflect, to clean your space, to slow your pace, or to be more intentional with your thoughts. These impulses are not random. They are instructions. Your spirit is preparing the atmosphere for what is coming. There are revelations waiting for you on that day, truths about your identity, your purpose, your origin, and the calling that has always lived in your bones. You are being prepared to receive what your spirit has sensed for years, but could not articulate. Chosen one. The transformation happening within you is not temporary. It is foundational. You are not being improved, you are being revealed. The real you, the you heaven crafted, is rising to the surface. And everything you are experiencing now is part of that unveiling. The fatigue, the clarity, the memories, the solitude, the discernment. Each one is a sign that your spirit is awakening. Heaven is aligning your entire being with the energy of December 1st, and by the time that day arrives, you will feel the shift in every part of your life. You are not becoming someone new. You are finally becoming yourself. Chosen one. As we move into this next unfolding, you must understand that the transformation taking place within you is not happening in isolation. It is connected to a divine timeline that has been woven into your life, piece by piece, moment by moment, long before you ever became aware of it. Everything you have lived through, all the strange seasons of loneliness, the sudden endings, the intuitive warnings, the internal shifts, has been pointing you toward this moment of spiritual awakening. December 1st is not just an upcoming date on the calendar, it is a culmination, a spiritual appointment you agreed to long before you entered this world, and heaven is guiding you toward it with precision. Chosen one. One of the clearest signs that you are approaching this spiritual threshold is the way your perception has been changing. You no longer see life the way you once did. You notice subtleties in people's behavior, hidden intentions behind their words, and energy shifts in environments others consider normal. This is not paranoia. This is your spiritual sight sharpening. When heaven elevates someone, their vision always changes before their circumstances do. You may feel like you're pulling away from people even when nothing dramatic has happened. It's not anger or resentment. It's clarity. You simply cannot stay attached to frequencies your spirit has already outgrown. As this awakening intensifies, you may feel moments of deep inner stillness, as if something sacred is taking place inside you, even when the outside world looks unchanged. This stillness is evidence that your spirit is aligning with divine timing. I remember going through a similar phase in my own journey. Everything around me felt the same, yet I could sense that something invisible was shifting beneath the surface. At first I thought it was just my imagination, but as time passed I realized that my spirit was preparing for a major transition long before my mind understood it. That same preparation is happening within you right now. Even if nothing around you seems different, trust the inner knowing that something is unfolding. You might also feel more drawn to silence and simplicity. Things that once entertained you now feel distracting. Conversations you once enjoyed now feel shallow. Noise feels heavier. Crowds feel overwhelming. You may prefer being home in a quiet room where your spirit can breathe. This is not isolation for the sake of loneliness. It is isolation for the sake of revelation. Your spirit is craving stillness because heaven is preparing to speak. And that voice does not come through chaos. It comes through quiet. December 1st will not greet you with loud signs, but with subtle shifts, and your spirit must be still enough to catch them. Chosen one. This season may bring moments when you question why certain people have distanced themselves, or why relationships that once felt stable now feel fragile. You may feel misunderstood or disconnected from those you care about. But this is not a sign of failure. It is a sign of elevation. Not everyone can walk with you into the frequency that will unfold on December 1st. Some individuals were part of your past chapters, but cannot remain in your future ones. Heaven is pruning your environment so that the people around you match the identity you are rising into. You are not losing people, you are being relocated spiritually. As the revelation expands, you may feel random waves of emotion, sadness that rises without warning, sudden joy, unexplained hope, or a heaviness you cannot name. These emotional waves are part of the spiritual purification taking place within you. Heaven is clearing out emotional residue hidden deep within your spirit, preparing you to carry the new energy of your purpose with clarity and strength. Sometimes you may feel as though you are grieving parts of yourself you didn't even know you were carrying. This grief is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of release. You are shedding identities that no longer belong to you. Another sign of this awakening is the refinement of your internal voice. Your intuition becomes more direct. Your inner warnings become sharper. You may feel a strong sense of no or not today without any logical explanation. These are not random feelings, they are spiritual instructions. When the chosen transition into higher frequencies, heaven begins guiding them through intuition more than intellect. You are learning to trust the voice within you, the one that heaven planted long before you had words for it. This voice will become essential on December 1st when the energy shifts and your spirit receives the next part of your purpose. Chosen one. Your journey has not been easy. You have walked through battles others never saw. You have carried burdens, silently felt emotions, deeply endured loneliness intensely, and questioned your path more times than you can count. But none of this was wasted. Every moment of pain, confusion, and endurance was shaping you for this awakening. You are not stepping into the season as a wounded soul, you are stepping into it as a refined spirit. Heaven has been polishing you through pressure, preparing you for the moment when everything becomes clear. As December 1st draws near, you may feel an indescribable anticipation, as though something is coming, even if you cannot explain what it is. Trust that feeling. Trust the pull. Trust the quiet. Your spirit knows what your mind has yet to understand. Chosen one. As we enter this final segment, let your spirit settle into the truth that has been unfolding across each moment of this message. Everything you have experienced, every pull towards silence, every moment of inner heaviness, every sudden realization, every tear, every dream, every shift in your atmosphere has been preparing you for what is coming on December 1st. This is the threshold. This is where the old timeline ends and the new one begins. You did not arrive here by accident. You arrived because heaven has been guiding you, shaping you, stretching you, and refining you for this very awakening. You are exactly where you need to be. Chosen one. By now you have sensed that something in your spirit has been calling you inward with unusual intensity. You have felt the need to step away from noise, to distance yourself from people who drain you, to limit your conversations, and to create space around your heart. What you may not have realized is that this instinct is not just emotional self-care, it is spiritual instruction. Heaven is pulling you home, not just physically, but spiritually. The home you are being called to is the inner sanctuary within you, the place where clarity rises, where intuition speaks, where identity awakens. This is why December 1st requires you to be alone, to be quiet, to be present, to be still. There are moments in a chosen one's journey that mark irreversible spiritual elevation. And December 1st is one of those moments. This day carries a frequency that does not touch everyone, only those whose spirits have been prepared. You have felt the preparation in the form of discomfort, emotional release, sudden endings, and internal shifts. The old energy around you has been slowly falling away. Cycles have been closing quietly. Patterns have been breaking. People have been drifting. These things did not happen randomly. They happened because heaven has been clearing your path. The path you're about to step onto is a higher one, and not everyone can walk alongside you on it. Chosen one. You might think back on the past few months and notice how much has changed without you fully understanding why. Maybe your relationships shifted. Maybe your priorities changed. Maybe your desires evolved. What once felt heavy now feels foreign. What once felt familiar now feels distant. That is because your spirit has already begun entering the frequency of your new season. Your inner world is ahead of your outer world, and December 1st is the moment when the two align. The clarity you have been waiting for will meet you there. As you prepare for this moment, you will sense that your intuition has been growing stronger. You know things without knowing how you know them. You feel the truth in your body before your mind catches up. You sense when something is wrong without needing proof. This is your spiritual DNA awakening. Chosen ones are always guided through inner knowing more than external evidence. What others interpret as coincidence, you recognize as confirmation. And on December 1st, this inner knowing will sharpen even further. A deep understanding about your identity, your purpose, your direction, and your calling will rise like a tide inside you. This is why silence is necessary. Noise interferes with revelation. Crowds distort intuition. Social energy drowns out spiritual frequency. You need an environment where your heart can speak without interruption, where your intuition can rise without resistance, where your spirit can listen without distraction. Staying alone on December 1st is not a suggestion, it is a requirement. You are not simply avoiding people, you are entering a sacred chamber within yourself. Chosen one. I want you to reflect on something important. Think about how many times in your life you felt different without understanding why. Think about the moments when you sensed danger before it happened, or felt someone's energy before they spoke, or recognized truth in people they were trying to hide. Think about the times your heart knew something wasn't right, even when your mind wanted to believe otherwise. These experiences were not random sensitivities. They were signs of your spiritual origin. You were given these abilities because your calling requires them. Heaven placed a level of perception inside you that many do not possess. And now that perception is entering a higher form. As the energy of December 1st approaches, your dreams may become messages. Your thoughts may carry revelations. Your emotions may bring understanding. Your memories may reveal meaning. This is heaven speaking through every channel within you. Do not ignore these signs. Do not dismiss these feelings. This is how the chosen receive instruction. O chosen one. There is something else you must understand. When heaven elevates you, the world around you will begin responding. You may notice more synchronicities, numbers, symbols, repeated messages, familiar patterns showing up in unexpected ways. You may feel as though time is moving differently, flowing faster or slower, depending on the moment. You may feel a sense of anticipation that you cannot explain. This is because your spirit is aligning with a divine appointment. December 1st is not coming toward you, you're moving toward it. Your life after this day will not feel the same. Opportunities will appear where there were none. Clarity will replace confusion. Strength will replace hesitation. And the identity you have carried quietly within you, sometimes with pride, sometimes with pain, will fully awaken. You will understand why you were set apart, why your heart loved deeply, why your spirit felt heavily, why your path was different, and why your journey has required silence. Chosen. One, hear this clearly. December 1st is the beginning of your becoming. Everything before it was preparation. Everything after it will be alignment. And the version of you that steps into that day will not be the version that walks out of it. You are entering a divine turning point, a shift written long before you arrived in this world. When you honor the call to solitude, the revelation will meet you. When you honor the call to silence, the instructions will come. And when you honor the call to be present, the awakening will unfold. Chosen. One, step into this moment with courage. Trust what you feel. Trust what you sense. Trust what is rising within you. You are ready. Chosen one. As we close this sacred moment, let your spirit receive what heaven has been whispering to you. This day is not ordinary, and neither are you. The signs you've felt, the inner pull, the quiet awakening rising within you, are proofs that your true identity is being revealed. You are not just watching a message, you are answering a calling written into your spirit long before this day arrived. Anointed one, walk forward, knowing that heaven is guiding your steps. The markers you carry, the sensitivities you hold, the rare origin within you are not burdens, but confirmations. You were set apart, and now the veil is lifting. Move into the days ahead with clarity, courage, and unwavering faith, for the path opening before you was crafted specifically for your purpose. If this word resonates with your soul, share your presence in the comments and remain connected to this sanctuary of truth. Go in strength, chosen one. Your awakening has already begun.